Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to All Elite Wrestling, my TEW 2020 series. We are starting from the first episode of AEW Dynamite and booking from there in my own alternate timeline. I am going to try to keep some aspects of what has actually happened in Dynamite and AEW a part of the series, but for the most part, I want to deviate and do my own thing with it. So, in keeping with the realism, tonight we have some exciting matches. We have the native beast Nyla Rose versus Riho to crown the inaugural AEW Women's Champion. It should be a spectacular match. And in our main event, we have the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz. And now with such an exciting night of wrestling, let's get to the show. In a pre-show bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat, SCU defeated Angelico and Jack Evans, The Private Party, and Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn in 14:30. The order of elimination was Private Party first, then Angelico and Jack Evans, and finally Billy and Austin Gunn. In terms of work, Frankie Kazarian was head and shoulders above everyone else. So without having Dark, it's really hard because so many of these people are considered unimportant by the fans that I pretty much can't use a good portion of my roster. In one-on-one matches, and that's going to be a real issue here in the debut of Dynamite. So, a pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Scorpio Sky, so that might become an issue. Scorpio Sky may be losing any sort of push that we give him, which does kind of suck. There's some pretty decent performances. Private Party performed very well. Frankie Kazarian was the MVP of this. Just kind of using this to figure out who I want to use moving forward. And we get a 47 for that segment. In about that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Britt Baker defeated Ray Lynn in 13:01 by pinfall. Baker with a 21, Ray Lynn with a 28. That's actually, did not expect that. The crowd was particularly not thrilled by seeing Britt Baker, so that sucks. Damn, so Britt Baker and Scorpio Sky do not have the crowd behind them, and that could be an issue because we do have a very vocal fan base. So we get a 27 for the match. It was a poor way to start the show, but by working the crowd, we were able to get the fans responding, and now we move into the next segment. MJF makes his way down to the ring with a microphone, and he says, "Yeah, you boo me all you want. The real wrestling starts now. I don't know why AEW management didn't give their biggest and brightest star the main event on the very first episode of Dynamite, but so be it. I'm sure those indie scrub has-beens will make you all happy, will make all you marks happy while they flip around the ring. I'm not here to entertain you. Frankly, I could not give less of a shit about each and every one of you, but you should give a shit about MJF. Because I am the best wrestler in this company. I'm the best wrestler in this world. Because I will usher in the next golden age of professional wrestling. You should all count yourselves lucky to get to witness the meteoric rise that starts tonight. Now get my opponent out here so I can go home." Maxwell Jacob Friedman foreshadowed a heel turn during this segment. For some reason, he was a face to start with, which I do kind of understand because he was aligned with Cody, but we're putting him at his rightful place as a heel. He's looking stale. The angle cooled the crowd a little, and it only got a 30, which I'm a little disappointed in. MJF is one of the stars, really should have been doing good. So MJF is now using the future. Not suitable to be used as a babyface. That's fine, because he should now be a heel. And it was a success. We go to our next segment. In about that, a terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Maxwell Jacob Friedman defeated Colby Corino in 13:20 by pinfall with a Swanton Bomb. It gets a 32. MJF has a 40 performance there, which is fantastic, but a pretty vocal crowd that didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Colby Corino. He gets a 14. Oh, man. So that's 3 people so far in 3 matches that the crowd has completely turned on. Colby Corino, Britt Baker, and Scorpio Sky. That sucks. I'm very displeased. Oh, man. Now we go to see JR, and he says, "Now, let's go to Alex Marvez standing by backstage with Chris Jericho, Ortiz, and Santana." Alex Marvez says, "Chris Jericho, it's the premiere episode of AEW Dynamite, and as the champion, you get the honor of the main event. A 6-man tag team match between you 3 and the Elite. What are your thoughts on this match tonight?" Jericho says, "Well, my first thought is that you need to learn the proper respect. It is le champion. I am le champion. Where did they find you? Did they just hire interviewers off the street? Give me that microphone. I'll do your job for you. He pushes Marvez away and takes the microphone and says, how does it feel to be the inaugural AEW champion on the inaugural Dynamite, Chris? Oh, it doesn't feel any different. I've been the first to do a lot of things, and AEW is no different. I'm used to the spotlight. Chris, how do you feel about your match tonight? Great. The Elite are nobodies. How are you so confident? The Elite have been champions everywhere they wrestle. Yeah, so have I. And we're in the big leagues now. And they haven't been in the big leagues. And to be in the big leagues, you always have to have an ace up your sleeve, which Chris Jericho always does. Come on, boys. Let's go. 36 for that one. Chris Jericho disrespecting Alex Marvez, as he should. Oh, man. Alex Marvez, that only time he was on commentary was... Oh, man. Oh, let's just forget about it. And 36 for the segment. I'm happy with that. Actually, no, I'm not. Chris Jericho in that one, it should have been higher. I'm getting nervous as to what the grade of this show is going to be. In About That Terrible Wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Nyla Rose defeated Riho in 3:33 by submission with a camel clutch. Nyla Rose wins the AEW World Women's Championship. This was a terrible match. It gets an 11 for the inaugural Women's Championship match. Nyla Rose has a 24. Riho has a 20. Pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Riho, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with ditching Riho. And this match was poorly placed as a wild brawl really needs a crowd who are buzzing and ready for the action. That sucks. Fuck my life. Oh, man. But yeah, I just wanted to have this be a quick match. I wanted Nyla Rose to dominate because that's the direction we're going with Nyla Rose, which is what they should have done with Nyla Rose, not have her lose to fucking 90-pound Riho if you're going to build her as a monster. Nyla Rose stands over the broken body of Riho. She is given the AEW World Women's Championship and holds it high over her head. Tony Schiavone enters the ring with a microphone. Oh, and I'm also very aware that I spelled Riho wrong in every single thing here. I'm here with the inaugural AEW Women's Champion, Nyla Rose. Nyla, how does it feel to... Nyla grabs the microphone from Tony's hand, and she says, that's enough out of you, Tony. You can go sit down now. She looks directly at the hard cam and says, this was not a match. This was a warning. A warning to all the women in professional wrestling of what will happen to you if you try to take this title from me. I am the native beast, Nyla Rose. I'm built different, and I'm here to destroy any woman who stands in my way. I'm not just the first AEW Women's Champion. I will be the only AEW Women's Champion. If you don't believe me, just watch the trail of destruction I'm about to leave. Nyla Rose throws the microphone down, grabs Riho, who's being helped up by referees in the corner, sets her up, powerbombs her once more, and begins to walk out as medical staff rush out to go get Riho. Nyla Rose was held back by the language barrier, not speaking the same language as the fans. That's not something that should be the case. That needs to be edited. I'm going to go into the editor and do that because Nyla Rose speaks English very well, if you didn't know. Whoever the fuck made this mod. Jesus, Angle cooled the crowd, 24. How the fuck do you make it that bad? How do you not realize that someone speaks perfect English in your mod making? That's terrible. In About That in Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat, the Best Friends defeated the Dark Order in 13:05 when Trent Beretta pinned Evil Uno with a running single leg high knee strike. 42 for the segment. Finally a good match here. We have a 38 from Grayson, 36 from Evil Uno, 36 and 39 from the Best Friends. It's all good. All good from this one, and I'm very happy with that. And now the Best Friends celebrate in the ring with a hug. Orange Cassidy prepares to roll into the ring when he's hit from behind by Rey Fenix. Fenix throws him towards Pentagon Jr., who sets him up quickly for a package pile driver and delivers it to Orange Cassidy on the outside, just on the floor, gives him the package pile driver. The Best Friends finally notice and they slide out to help Orange Cassidy while the Lucha Brothers start retreating to the back. Medical staff rushes out again to aid Orange Cassidy, who remains on the floor. They're putting the neck brace on him, all that stuff. Rey Fenix was held back by the language barrier. I don't know why this... What does that have to do with his fighting? 31. I'm pissed again. Next segment. In a decent match, Cody defeated Kip Sabian in 11:51 by pinfall with a crossroads. He gets a 60. Kip Sabian gets a 30. The match got the crowd buzzing. So, on the initial episode of Dynamite, Cody faced Sammy Guevara, who they wanted to push as, like a face of the show in the very first match. However, here we had multiple absent workers, so Cody is facing Kip Sabian. We have a 53, Sammy Guevara was not available, Pac was not available, Jon Moxley was not available, Shima was not available. There was a lot of people I wanted to use that were not available, so we're having to roll with what we have. Also, having those people available would have made the show a lot better because there are a lot of people who are over that are not at the show. But next segment. Cody stands in the ring following his win. He's handed a microphone and he says, "Thank you, thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you 3 men without whom none of this would be possible. They are all future champions in AEW. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite. The Elite make their entrance as they prepare for their main event match. It's doing great here. Angle got the crowd hotter. Finally, we're kicking it off. 67. Cody, Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega, all fantastic. Very happy with that. We go to the match. And in about that, a great wrestling in good heat, Chris Jericho and Santana and Ortiz defeated the Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega in 22-25 when Chris Jericho pinned Kenny Omega with a codebreaker following interference from Ace Austin. What? Ace Austin? 67 for this segment. Great ratings from the Elite. Absolutely great ratings. Chris Jericho with a 76. Santana and Ortiz with a mid and low 30s, which I kind of expect because they're not super over, but this match hopefully will help with their overness some. Chris Jericho seemed off his game. And after that, Jericho, Santana, Ortiz, and Ace Austin are beating down Kenny Omega in the ring. The Jacksons slide back in, but they're quickly overwhelmed. Cody emerges from the backstage area and is quickly taken out as well. All 4 members of the Elite are just laying there on the mat as Jericho, Santana, Ortiz, and Ace Austin are there. Chris Jericho grabs a microphone and says, "And that is how you make an impact. Great work, kid." He puts his arm around Ace Austin, pulls him in, and says, "Welcome to the Jericho. These are my disciples, Santana, Ortiz, and Ace. And we run this bitch." The show ends with the Jericho on their knees in front of Jericho as he holds the AEW Championship high in the air. 47 for that one. I had really hoped for it to be better, but with Austin, Ortiz, and Santana in it, I do understand why it wasn't better. Ace Austin underperformed. A lot of good looking performances there. All the Elite were very good. So I'm very happy with that one. This show, what do I think this show got? So we're using the main event focus spotlight for matches. So with that being said, that really is going to help us here since we have a lot of matches that are not going to go over well. As long as we have a solid main event, it's going to be good. So for this one, I'm going to guess a 55. I wanted to say 58, but 55 is my conservative guess for this show. 59. Wow. Hot diggity damn. We would have gained popularity in 7 Canadian regions, but growth was restricted due to the limited number of viewers there. Show increased their popularity in 14 regions. I used Santana and Ortiz far too much on this show, but that's okay with me. So that's one advantage of using the main event showcase is you see a lot of these ratings here early on in the card were not good, but since we had such a strong main event and a strong match leading into the main event, it was able to boost our overall show rating, which I think is really going to help us. It might become kind of a crutch to me in the early going on this series because so few of the members of this roster are over at all in North America. And we may actually start Dark a lot sooner than Dark actually started. We'll see how it goes. But now it's time to see how we did on television. Alright, so that episode of AEW Dynamite was held in the Center Stage Theater in the Southeast region. It's Atlanta, Georgia, for those of you who don't know, in front of 1,050 people. It got a 59 overall, and on television it got a 538,654 person viewership, which is good for a 0.71 rating, which I'm very happy with. However, TNT is not happy with it. I did not check until after this show, but the minimum show quality for TNT is 75. I don't think we're going to be able to reach that. We did not have a single segment reach 75. I don't know what the mod maker was doing in this mod, but that is absolutely ridiculous. What might wind up happening, to be completely honest with you guys, is I might convert this save into a database, edit some things, and then convert it back into a save. We'll see what happens, but hopefully I have things fixed before the next episode. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. Please leave a like rating if you made it this far. It really helps me get to know what you guys want out of episodes. So I want to thank you guys one more time for watching, and I will see you guys later.